listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
I am Frank Skinner, and I'm on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. If you text us, we'll probably, or not for sure, we'll respond. You'll have to use the number 81215. Or you can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Follow the show. I just suggest you can hear it to me rather than actually
like
the
Nazarene.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, morning, Jim.
Morning.
Morning, Richie.
Morning, Peter.
Very good.
We've had a question already, Frank.
Ah,
This is from Henna's from Gravesend.
okay.
Morning, Frank and the gang. How old is too old to enjoy programmes like The Simpsons? Kind regards, Henna's from Gravesend.
I think you're all right at any age with The Simpsons, as long as you avoid in everyday conversation saying, it's like that episode of The Simpsons, isn't it, when don't do that.
Well, can I just add...
Or Seinfeld. Or
Curb.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Avoid. If you're going to use an example from a TV show, go a little bit obscure. You know, try and say.
It ain't half hot, Mum. I would say
It ain't half hot, Mum.
It's like that episode of Ain't Half Hot.
It
Mum.
is, yeah. Where that'd be great. That'd be great. I'm trying to think of an episode where that would work. You know, it's like that episode of It Ain't Half Hot, Mum, where the Sergeant Major says, "Oh, lovely boy," and then you know you got like you could say that if you saw say one of those, you know, the Diet Pepsi. If you're a group of women at work and there's a builder with no shirt on outside, you could say it's like that episode, isn't it? Of and then do the "Oh, lovely boy" thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you get back those shoulders, you lovely boy. You could do all that.
Do all
So
the
then people
voices, don't
think,
you?
oh, really unusual reference.
Yeah, yeah.
What a change. No curb simp sign.
They won't
Right.
know
Sing
Ain't
a
Half
song.
Hot, Mum. The snowflakes.
No, I don't think they will.
But they learn.
This
Well,
whole
I've got
chat
a
reminds
caveat.
me of...
Sorry, Al.
This whole chat reminds me of an episode of Birds of a Feather.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Sorry, I said that looking at you, didn't I? Didn't
You
mean
really
that.
did look at me. What does that make Frank?
Who's the main male in Birds of a Feather?
I know exactly who the main
It's a big
male is.
question.
No, I know it. He's played by an actor called Peter Polycarpou.
Oh,
Thank you. He ended up in prison, though, I believe.
in the real
character.
world?
No, not in the real world, in the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I've got a
Tidy that
caveat
up.
with the cartoons. Please don't watch them after 7 p.m, because that just makes me want to end my world.
Oh, really?
If I go into someone's house and there are cartoons on after 7 o'clock, I just feel ill.
You think, oh, we should be watching Channel 4 News, guys? Is
I
that what
just
you
don't
think?
watch cartoons. It's depressing.
I think The Simpsons is a gift that keeps giving. I
Okay.
think it's all
Oh,
right.
it's tremendous work.
Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself.
Late review.
Yeah, we've
Exactly.
started with an early late review, haven't we?
Coincidentally, we were playing a game this morning with a book. There's a book of
Who's doing it?
photographs of comedians, and everyone is accompanied by. Not everyone's accompanied by a joke. Some of the comedians can't come up with one joke.
I haven't got one.
They just had a picture of themselves.
Just have a picture saying, if I come with a joke, I'll email you. Can do it, put it in post. But the joke I do, I'm going to do it now.
Oh, yeah.
What, the joke that you're in the book
The
with?
joke I'm in the book with.
Well, I read it out.
I should plug the book. I can't reach it. It's the producer has not really
is it,
been
like
my
Funny
right
Faces or
hand
something?
person today.
Comedians' faces.
It's by Steve Best, who
Yeah.
is a former is a comic, but is a former support act of mine. It's called Joker Face. Over 450 comedians share their best one-liners. Now, he never said to me it had to be my best one-liner. And great for the comedians who haven't come up with a joke at all. That's made them look ridiculous. Anyway, mine is a man goes into a doctor's and says, "Doctor, doctor," which you have to say in a joke, by the way. I'm having trouble hearing people. And the guy says, "Okay, can you tell me the symptoms?" And he says, Homer, Marge, Bart. Now, obviously, slightly I've slightly telegraphed it by we talking about The Simpsons, but
Yeah.
obviously it's a great joke.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's arguing with that. But I think it's also
8, 12, 15, just in case there is anyone.
as well
arguing
as
with
it
that.
being a great joke, it's also an example of how you can discuss the Simpsons in public without looking like a absolute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What was we talking about? Oh, I
Mainly
don't-
your jokes.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
that great joke that you did.
Now, there's lots of really good jokes in the book and nice pictures of comedians. I think you should get it.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Tell you, it's one of those books I'm a bit worried about the spine.
Yeah.
You know when you get a book that's a fat book and you
The
think...
content
"Oh,
weighs heavy on the spine.
Is the spine going to take it? But we'll hope for the best.
I quite like a buckle when it buckles.
Do you? I don't like it when you've got like 2 or 3 blocks of the same book. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Where it's separated. Nightmare. Nightmare. Oh, here's a little couple of slices of life from my domestic life. I got up this morning and it was still dark, and I was going past my son's bedroom, and I heard just a little bit of rustling in the
Yeah.
sheets, like it was just So I put my head round the door, and he was lying like half asleep. I put my head round the door just to have a little look at him before I went to work.
Oh.
And he went, "Ah!" Didn't go quite like I was planning.
Like you were Jack Skellington. Or
Oh,
something.
man, absolutely scared the excrement out of him.
It's a fine line between a sweet parenting moment and terror, isn't it?
Yeah, just that head, my gaunt expression. And,
Jacob
man.
Marley had pitched up.
It did. I felt bad about it, really.
Reminds me of the
poor
time
Buzz.
I once overreached on trying to scare some hiccups out of my son during his bedtime story. Instead, just terrified him for a whole night.
He's in therapy
What
now.
did you do? Suddenly sort of leap at him or something?
Yeah.
I did. Boo.
Slam the book on his face.
I did a surprise boo in the middle of a sentence of a child's story. Whoops.
I ate a surprise boo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The other one was in
Yeah.
the more the sort of the bubbly end of my life.
Okay.
I was at the opera this week.
Lovely.
I was at the opera, and
I imagine
You
you
like
there in the
opera?
box, like one of those Muppets.
you know what? I like a bit of opera.
You do, don't you?
I do. It's like a musical with PMT. It's got lovely songs, but there's terrible
Put that in the
things,
joke
terrible, frightening. Yeah, that could go in the joke, but for those people who don't have a joke. Oh, no, I don't want to letting people on me. It's actually quite, I'm writing that down. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a wild
Yeah.
view. Anyway,
Don't let those other ones steal it, Frank.
what I need to stop doing is analysing my own remarks this morning, and it turns people against you.
When you say this morning,
You've been doing that
I mean,
for
this
years.
isn't the first,
Anyway.
your first time at the analysis
It's
rodeo.
nice to be able to stand back and admire excellence. Anyway, I was at the opera, and Richard E. Grant was there. And I've worked with Richard E. Grant.
Of course you have.
Yeah, he was
This is like most people's dreams.
he was on the art show that I do.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's got a forehead. He put his head around the...
Frank, you can't just say that about people.
No,
No,
he's
he
a
does,
handsome man. I mean, piercingly. He's a really handsome man.
Lovely. Did he have a actorly scarf?
I'm not sure. He must have had.
Come on.
He must have had. What am I even thinking about? He must have had a scarf.
Come on.
Jeremy Irons had a black polo neck jumper with a chain over the top. Come on, actor. Anyway, so I thought I know Richard E. Grant enough to say hello, and I like to say hello to anyone who's been in Doctor Who, basically, if they're around. So I just tapped him on the shoulder and said, hello, Richard. And he turned around, he grabbed my hand, and he went, how are you? And then he turned and walked away immediately. It was like hit and run friendliness. I mean, absolutely lit up. How are you? Gone.
I love that.
Thought, well, hold on, you never waited for my reply.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the clergy do that, Frank, you've told us.
Well, I mean, the clergy on the Sunday morning, they do the handshake with the other hand on the shoulder. So you're moved along down the conveyor belt. But I mean, they've got... But I mean, this, honestly, it was the contrast. It was like a supernova of friendliness suddenly went into a black hole.
May I ask a question? Are you certain that he recognised you? Do you think?
No, I'm not certain that he recognised me.
He might have been saying, Stephen Tompkinson, I can't shake the man off.
It was this is a man who has to get on a ladder to cut his own fringe, remember?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Oh, I went to Poland this week.
Oh,
You
Hello?
went to Poland.
I went to Poland.
Nastrovia.
Yeah. It's. I thought I'd have a look around Europe before we're
Not in it.
banished. I don't know if we'll be actually banished, but
I don't think we will. I think we're self-banished, maybe.
yeah, I've been self-banished for a long time.
No.
Is that what you get? Why turkeys that are self-basted? Anyway, self-basting. That's what it is.
Goodness
I knew
me.
it was in there somewhere.
So tell us about Poland.
Well, turns out.
It's Radio 4.
Yeah, no, you have to say. So, Frank Skinner.
Frank
Tell
Skinner.
us about Poland. Turns out it's an hour ahead.
No way.
Okay.
Who knew?
Was that your only finding?
I thought that they'd stopped all that with Europe.
No, I think a lot of
mean?
Europe is an hour ahead.
But why is that?
Well,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, boss.
12,
Why
15.
is that?
But I do like that. I
Is it
like it
daylight
when
saving?
you're on a plane and you're changing your...
You're easily pleased. Try
did
going to
that.
Australia, love.
oh yeah.
I know, but I love changing the... Oh, just get the watch. And then, but when all the time we was there, we're saying the bus got up at 7 o'clock, English time or post. Oh, just join in. I couldn't help thinking... Bear with us. Punchline coming.
Lovely.
Yes, there isn't enough live harmonica on radio, I always think. Yes, the times are a-changing.
They really
when
are.
you go from one country to the other in
That
Europe.
was very well played.
Thank
Was
you so
well
much.
played.
I was
Frank.
quite impressed by that.
Thanks,
Me
guys.
too.
I wish I had... Have I got a jingle to celebrate it? Here's one. Here it comes. That's my harmonica playing.
Yeah. So you were there for...
We flew to Gdansk.
Oh, lovely.
We flew to Lech Wałęsa
Yeah.
Airport.
I don't know any of these.
Do you remember Lech Wałęsa?
I do.
No.
Oh, come on. You see,
Solidarity.
I feel Solidarność.
Solidarność. We had a sticker on our car.
All the things that happened in Europe with the end of the Soviet Union, which obviously
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got mixed feelings about, but
He had a
all
massive
that.
tash.
The war, massive tash.
Yes.
Massive
You don't get them like
tash.
that anymore.
I mean, he had like a real big, proper, like
was
a real
adult
East Europe,
channel
and
tash.
and you knew it smelt of roll-ups.
Yeah.
His tash.
Right.
But he was like a union leader, and he was basically the man who began that whole process. Forget your Gorbachevs.
Forget
Lech-
who.
Lech
I've forgotten him.
In fact, I thought of Lech Wałęsa earlier this morning. There was an advert on this very station
Kind of Polish Arthur Scargill.
for is it called October? Is that what they call
Oh, right,
it?
yeah, yeah.
And you have a
Stop drinking
You stop
for a
drinking
month.
for a whole month.
Is it Stoptober?
Is it Stoptober?
Well, it should be, I'm just making-
October is actually better,
October.
and that's
I
my
think it-
my mistakes are better than things that other people get paid for.
Put that in your joke book.
Put that in your jingle.
It's perfect.
My mistakes are better than things other people get paid for. Every Saturday, Frank Skinner.
If he had a Twitter page, that would be his bio, Al.
I'm terribly sorry.
you're-
So, is someone writing that down? Get that down.
Can you nip to the bakery and get me a slice of humble pie? Thank you. Anyway, so yes, so I was listening to the Oxo. What's it called?
Stoptober,
No,
darling.
Stoptober.
Okay.
Not as good.
You can't just point out everything that you didn't invent and say not as good.
And I thought to myself, it's talking about not drinking for a month. I had my last drink September the 24th, 1986.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, when I heard about
Stoptober.
October, I thought to myself, this is how Lech Wałęsa must feel when it's Movember. And now here we are talking about his airport. In my end is my beginning.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
We've been picked up or pulled up on the pronunciations, some pronunciation here. There is no K in Lech Wałęsa's name.
Oh, it's like, there's no, but don't they say Wałęsa?
Doing so, you have made his surname female. Please get your pronunciation right.
Well, I mean, with that moustache, it would have to be the wife of Muhammad Ali's brother.
Something different.
There's a little obscure reference there.
Some
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is that from a Polish person or
Yes, it's
just
from
a general?
Ania Lepkowska.
Okay, so Lech Wałęsa. Okay, so
Okay.
we flew to Gdansk airport from Luton, but when I was at Luton, I went through, security, and the lady, your thing goes to the bag through machine. Lady came over and said that we need to search your bag completely. I said, what's the problem? She said, there's something in it that we're not happy about.
Really?
I said, what is it? She said, well, we can't really tell you what it is. I said, well, just tell me what it is. She said, okay, there seems to be a gun in your bag. And I thought about saying, no, I'm just pleased to see you. But I thought, they don't like comedy at security.
No.
Save that for the little joke book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those other ones can have it.
So I said, I don't think that. I found myself saying, I don't think there's a gun in my bag.
Yeah.
Did I pack a gun? I don't think I packed a gun. But it is a bit anxious making.
Oh, yeah.
Turned out,
A bit.
I had bought a Star Wars comic for Boss. And when you buy comics now, they come in like a plastic bag which has got toys in it that you get free with a comic. And including a Rebel Alliance rocket launcher.
Oh.
Which did look like a gun. I mean, fair play. I hadn't even opened, I hadn't opened. I put a small hole in the outer bag. It's just it's a Catholic thing.
Yeah.
But the whole idea was I was keeping this comic as a surprise to give Buzz on the plane.
Right.
And obviously Buzz was with you.
Yeah, so he looked up and went, and I said, I have to say you have ruined the surprise I was going to do with this magazine. Did I get an apology? Did I buffalo?
No.
When it's airport security, come on.
probably-
I know, but
more.
airport security...
Yeah.
Well, they're not interested in spoiler alerts. I mean,
No.
Yeah, but you'd think that people for a living who did internal the old rubber glove
Yeah.
internal examinations would have a sense of the ta-da. If you find drugs during one of those internals, you must go ta-da when you take it out. Surely.
It is the essential big reveal, isn't it?
Oh, they're dreaming of one of those paper bunches of flowers. That's what they dream of finding. But so they completely spoilt the surprise.
yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. I mean, I got nothing against the people at Luton Airport, but I wish they'd have just been a bit more discreet about my hidden.
How was the Ross Abbott Atmos after that?
Um,
I mean, did she sort of laugh and say, "Oh, sorry"?
No, she was very professional. She was. I mean, I think it's fair enough if you're on airport security and you see what looks like a gun.
Yeah.
It's all right to bring it up.
Yeah.
I do object to that. But she didn't seem to see the funny side of the fact that it was a Rebel Alliance rocket launcher.
No. It's a strange thing that should not really be for sale in an airport, isn't it? Like fake guns.
Well, they're they are serious. I remember being with my godchildren once, and Harvey had some toy he was carrying through, and the man yelled at him and said, "Hey, come on, Pokemon's got to go through security too."
Oh, well,
He yelled at Pokemon.
Rules
but
are rules.
that's quite nice that he used the name in a familiar way. If she'd have said to me as I walked away, "The force be with you," for example,
Yeah.
I'd have thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Or even gone, been great.
That would have just been tiredness, surely.
Oh, well, it could have
Like a
been.
big yawn.
Maybe, I mean, I'm saying this, maybe she'd just done an 18-hour
Maybe.
shift, couple of internals. You know, the fingertips did look a bit wrinkly.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So we're at Gdansk airport. We get picked up by a Polish driver,
Lovely.
and my partner Kath was saying, we've been to Poland before, and he goes, "Oh, okay, we went to Krakow." "Oh, yeah, okay." And she said, "Your food's very funny, isn't it?" And I thought, don't turn to that.
How was 1973?
Yeah.
I mean,
He
Kat.
said, "What do you mean?" She said, "It's just funny." I thought it was very funny, your food. It's colourful, isn't it? I think she tried to pull it round.
Colourful, it's good. Did she
And
say
he
eat
said,
the rainbow? at
and
any
he
point?
said, of course. He said, "I think your food is funny." I thought, where is this going to go now?
Did you say we've been here 7 minutes, no trouble?
45-minute drive. I think, what about your food? And I thought,
did Kath say?
yeah. And she said, "Oh, well, I suppose I have." He said, "Yes. What about you? For breakfast, egg, bacon, and haggis."
Oh, nice.
I thought, what? I said, "No, I don't." He says, "Yes, that is it in England. Egg, bacon, haggis." I think that is funny. So we left it there, which I thought was a good idea. So we had the...
He's got a point.
What have you ever had? Egg, bacon, and haggis for breakfast? Ever?
I'm sure. Well, I mean, I'll go over to our Scottish
I
correspondent.
certainly have, but
There you go.
But it's hardly. Not a mainstay.
it's not the trad.
Yeah.
The English he kept
breakfast.
saying. That's
No.
it in England.
Yeah.
Egg, bacon, haggis.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. He was big enough for me to think, yeah. Oh yeah, that thing we have.
yeah. I mean, I
Anyway.
take his point. It's a funny meal, the breakfast. Even the idea of breakfast being a meal that's different from all the others is funny. And
I
it's
didn't
odd.
mean it wasn't me who started the funny food thing.
No, I know.
We're all different.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Anyway, we went to the. It was a brilliant wedding. It was a wedding
Was
in
it?
a castle.
Oh, that's good.
Well,
I know. It's serious.
I've heard from Roland, my builder, tells me that he says if you go to a wedding in Poland, Emily, he said there's a bottle of vodka in front of each seat.
Well, they were around, they get water on the table. There was bottles of vodka like that. I mean, there was a lot of, but there's a lot of food at a Polish wedding, and they said to me, here's the sort of thing people say, it's very good for your digestion, vodka. So if you keep drinking vodka, you'll be able to eat more food.
Great.
I thought, I really want to eat more food. I come from a country with a national obesity crisis. And alcohol problems, so, But it was, I can honestly say I could have Gdansked all night
Very good.
and still have asked Warsaw.
Oh, come on.
If I lived in Gdansk, how often would I do the Gdansk?
It'd be absolutely unbearable.
Oh, what a Gdansk, good somebody. It would never end. It would never end. And I wouldn't be able to resist it ever. There's certain jokes I cannot resist. Every time someone says to me, who hasn't seen me for a while, "How's your little one?" I always say, "How dare you?" Always. Always.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
So this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Text the show on 81215. Come on. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website. All are acceptable options.
We've had a text about someone who's had a similar airport experience.
Oh, okay.
Just a slight lack of humour with some of the personnel.
Well, like I said,
I
they
don't
might.
wish to generalise, but
I suppose one tends not to do mega bants, with someone who you think has got a gun in their.
it's different with the check-in desk. What was his name? Jeremy? You remember that man? He became a celebrity as a result of working at the airport. Anyway, one of
Jeremy Irons.
No.
Jeremy off airport.
Yeah,
Is that
Jeremy
what
off
it was known
airport. That was the surname.
Do you know Jeremy Irons? No, but thanks for the tip. A good person to go on holiday with.
Oh, for me, lovely.
Yeah.
904, good morning. The way I learnt airport staff don't joke is when I said to the guy whose job it is to test if perfume is safe by spraying it, what does your wife think when you come home smelling of ladies' perfume?
Perfectly decent question.
And he replied with, no, she knows where I work. I mean, come on.
Wow. Respect.
in a way, the absolute bulletproof lack of humour is to be respected.
The thing about that is that no joke could get through that, could there? No joke. My dog's got no nose. How does it smell? Terrible. No, but what I mean is, how is it able to detect smell? It hasn't got a nose. I mean, it kills everything.
Kills all known jokes.
It does. Anyway, so I'm in Poland. I've looked up.
Yeah, you looked up.
So
Gdansk.
Yeah.
Not now, but maybe later. I've just sat down. See, I told you I wouldn't be able to stop.
He's never going to stop with his
nightmare.
dirty Gdansking.
You're asking.
So I like a wedding. I like all the symbolism of a wedding. They have different things there. They fired a cannon.
No, they
Wait,
did.
Well,
Yeah,
the
they
bride
did.
wasn't in it.
They didn't know. Yeah, a human cannonball. It'd be great.
Oh, that would be better than walking up the aisle, wouldn't it? Down the aisle.
Pity
whatever it
was
is
the
that they do.
veil came off about 35 yards into a trajectory. Spoiled the
That was
effect.
quite an episode of Don't Tell the Bride.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
See, you can quote that. Fine.
yeah.
No, it's I don't know what it is. They take it out, and the groom has to light it. I don't know if it's some sort of statement of if it's some sort of wedding night thing.
Right.
But anyway, so the cannon is fired into the mid-distance. And they did that thing with the broken glass. You know that one when you throw they drink from a glass of champagne and throwing it over their shoulder. Have you seen that at weddings?
And it breaks.
It
No, I've
smashes
never
on the floor and
I've
someone
never
has to
seen
come and then.
I've seen that in pubs in West Bromwich.
And then when the drunken women at about 1 o'clock in the morning take their shoes off because their heels are killing them, there's blood trails all over the floor from the sheds of
He's
broken
just
glass.
kidding.
Is that
on
right?
I'm not.
He's kidding on that bit. He must.
Well, the smashing the glasses is a big thing. They do it at the Jewish
But what
weddings.
does it mean?
Oh, I don't
Yeah, but
know.
I went to a Jewish wedding and they
Mazel tov.
wrapped it. Yes. Russell who? No, yes, and they wrap it in a napkin.
A
And
napkin.
This just chuck it on the floor. To hell with it. And of course, the greatest ever, I think, symbolic representation of marriage, both a male and female hand on the same knife handle.
Oh yeah,
That was perfect imagery.
beautiful.
But it was hearsay. You know when we do every now and again I have a
Excellent.
Esperanto.
Oh, lovely.
That's what we needed.
Yeah.
That was what we needed.
The international
Esperanto.
language.
it's still going.
International in that it's spoken by no
Yeah.
one all over the world. What on earth has happened to Esperanto? It was going to be so big and it would have come in so handy.
Yeah.
It's great for travel. If you know
I'm sure
the
we're
answer
gonna
to
hear.
this.
Yeah, 8, 12, 15.
Yeah, do let us know what happened to Esperanto. Yeah, let's see Christian O'Connell do that one.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, just to wind up my Poland adventure, the next morning we had, which something I think happens in England, the wedding breakfast, does it?
Yeah.
It's because we all stayed at the same place.
Yeah.
The next morning, went down into the hotel, and everyone, more or less everyone had been there the night before, including the bride and groom.
I think that's nice, though.
It was
'cause
lovely.
They should be there for the post-mortem, not dash off at 5 p.m.
Exactly.
in a bad hat.
And it's
Right.
also nice to, it's like they're in their civvies again
Yeah.
after all the grand
Yeah.
It's nice. So that was lovely. And we went down and, when you go abroad and there's for breakfast, there's cake and stuff. And they said there's English section over there. So I went over to the English section.
It's like a small world.
There were three metal containers. I am not making this up. Eggs, bacon, haggis.
No way.
I swear to you.
Well, you can see how the myth has caught on now.
I mean, it's
can't you?
absolutely caught on. The English section, eggs, bacon, haggis.
Lovely. Was it good haggis?
You know what? It was great. It goes great with eggs and bacon.
Yeah.
Does it?
Brilliant.
Very good.
So, yeah.
We've had some intel on from
If you're listening,
690.
it's a stupid thing to say. If you're not listening,
Yeah.
can't hear me.
Yeah. 690, the broken glass thing. The shards represent the amount of years the marriage will last. If it doesn't break, your wedding is doomed.
Oh dear.
What if you didn't even throw it? Is your wedding doomed?
Wow, you might... Yeah, exactly.
Well, now then you haven't even tried.
I'm going to have to phone my wife.
You'd have
Start
to do
breaking those
We
glasses.
don't do any of these traditions.
If that was one of those marriages like to keep someone in the country, you wouldn't throw the glass.
Good info here from 856. Psalm 137 holds the answer to the glass breaking shenanigans, apparently.
Does it? They're not going to tell us any more than
That's
that.
it.
No.
I think
like
it's
that.
one of those.
Oh, they're so
one of those-
enigmatic.
It just so
Al.
happens I do have my Holy Bible app, so I can look
Do
that
you
up. I
actually?
Do you get
That's
psalm?
funny.
really?
That
Do you
is
get psalm
funny.
alerts?
I do get some. I think we have to get Armageddon alerts. I haven't had one yet, but if I get one, I'll forward it to you.
There's been a few people saying that airport security staff don't have a sense of humour. We've covered those.
I think they probably do. They're probably professionally told not to.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
interested in balance. 628 has texted, Schiphol in Holland, the security staff are very friendly and pleasant.
Worth going there just
think
for
it's
that.
Yeah.
Just for that, you
important to get balance.
I could go there and I could have a crossbow in the bag just for some bounce, mega bounce. Don't try it on my recommendation. I believe there's a thing in the Absolute. The thing we had to sign this week about what we say on
I'm
Absolute.
telling people about
Can you not
us.
say that? Sorry. But I think it said don't encourage people to carry hand weapons in their luggage.
Schiphol.
I think that was that 17A?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah. Just after the... well, we won't read it out, but I don't even do drugs. Why would I tell other people to?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is a sentence that I want to say almost every week on this show, but we need to speak more about Steven Seagal.
Oh, it's one of his friends. You know why?
I'll cuss on the martial arts stuff.
Martial arts.
Those cats
Yeah.
are fast as lightning.
I dipped my toe in the water of martial arts participation, and so does Steven Seagal. He's broken the internet this week, hasn't he?
dwell on the mat.
I dwell on the mat a little. I go to the day class, guys, all right?
Yeah. He
and,
likes kung fu fighting too.
Well, this is a bit of a worry for me, because Steven Seagal has been interviewed by, what's his name?
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan.
And what's
Or as
her
he
name?
called him,
Yeah.
Piers Morgan.
Did he?
Look,
And
Piers.
Susanna Reid.
And Susanna Reid.
That's the one that Piers Morgan does. That's not the crying show. It's
Yes, they're not
the troll
no,
show.
Not,
Yes,
not,
the-
not
that's
the
He does
show.
crying or troll.
That's right. He even trolls Seagal at the end of the interview by saying, "What films have you got coming out?" Like this absolute. I mean, of course he's got no good films coming out. He hasn't had a good film come out for 25 years or something.
He had one up his sleeve, though, didn't he?
He
said,
did.
"Oh, I've just made one in Asia or something."
He did,
And
He
it was
got
quite
out
a
of it.
sleeve with that mandarin, black
Well.
satin mandarin affair.
Yes, he
Apparently, his jacket became his overall look became a trending topic or a chat on the old internet.
He said it was the best film he'd made for years, by the way.
The,
Not that film.
I like to think that it's good, but no Seagal.
Trey Bon.
He basically looked
Bon.
like the Count on Sesame Street.
He
One,
what
That's what
he's
he looked
done
like.
now? He's
He's looked up.
edited out all the grey and
Oh, yeah.
gone black. So he's got black goatee,
Really?
black, and that sort of widow's peak hair that he's always had.
What, Eddie Munster?
Yeah, exactly. Very Count Duckula. So he's got
Very
that,
dark.
and then he's wearing black glasses. So I tell you what he reminded me of. Did you ever have one of those iron filings men thing where you move it's like a ball man. You move the iron filings and you can give them beards and he looked like that because it was all the same colour.
But was he always like this? I mean, his accent. He was talking about he was talking relatively normally. He was saying, you see the whole thing with Trump here, and then you have Vladimir Putin.
No, but we should say he has taken Russian citizenship.
He has.
December 2016 it happened.
And we've discussed this before. Do you remember Gerard Depardieu took it? I think it's done on collar size.
Yeah.
It has to be over 25 for your collar size to do it. They're all those sort of big blokes who you wouldn't want to be, stuck in a lift with.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't mind being, if a fight went off, you wouldn't mind being.
I call them, could have been
their
a lorry
gang.
driver had things not worked out.
Exactly.
Blokes.
Exactly. And, a bit just on the edge of BO. I would say. So when you're that big, it's so much territory to clear with deodorants and stuff. And also you've got folds that other people don't have.
Well, you need a can a day, really.
Well, I mean, you need sandblasting,
Yeah.
which is old industrial process.
But I do feel for him about the Vladimir Putin thing, because...
Can you pronounce it properly, please?
That's how he said
That's it, Frank.
But I think if he's lived in Russia for, a year or thereabouts, he's probably picked up a little bit of the tune of the accent, and so now he's
come
saying
on,
it
that's like the All
with
Saints.
a rush. It's a bit like when I said bolognese and you guys made fun of me for a whole show, and then the following week had to apologise. I think we might next week have to apologise to Steven Seagal.
Oh, I think he got it right. And also, if you consider the sentence he says most is probably, I'm friends with Vladimir Putin, then he's going to have that very well versed.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.
So, Steven Seagal bonded with Vladimir Putin
Yeah.
over their the love of martial arts. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Come on
it
now.
does-
You could move to...
It does throw up some odd friendships. I've got friends that I probably wouldn't have if they didn't do the arts martial.
I can imagine, though, that Putin and Seagal could have got on in other contexts. They've got...
I think so. Yeah, I think Putin is genuinely a judo guy. I think he's written a book about judo. Putin.
He started playing ice hockey, apparently, when he was 60, I think.
Right.
Really?
Which is a weird thing. And now he plays, like, in public games. He plays, like, in friendlies and stuff.
I imagine those are some tentative challenges from the other players.
Yes, well, exactly. It's like Idi Amin was undisputed heavyweight champion of Uganda for many years. But if you think about it, everything Idi Amin did in Uganda was undisputed.
Yes.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
When Piers Morgan said at the end...
Do you remember that joke about Idi Amin's got a new microwave? It's a 4-seater. Go on, carry on.
I don't remember it or get it. Really.
I think he ate people.
Oh, I see.
Go on, carry on.
He said, can I just say, it's an honour to have a movie star of your stature live on Good Morning Britain.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, was that sarcastic, or did he actually mean that?
I felt Piers had a sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek tone throughout.
I thought he was surprisingly nice to him. I wonder if Piers Morgan...
Well, they both like Trump.
Has he got one eye on the Moscow move?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if he's big enough. He needs to... He needs to bulk up.
Drink more vodka.
With Seagal, is it muscle or has he got fat?
Text in 81215.
Well, he's not one of the muscly martial arts guys.
He's one of the...
He does Aikido, which is considered a soft martial art, if I may.
Yeah.
Hey!
And he'll take the chips out of your hand.
He will, yeah.
Like any seagull.
That's mainly...
We couldn't have this conversation without a seagull joke. Come on.
Is he one of... That's what I can't work out with him, though. Is he one of those 9 items or less?
Oh.
Name some Seagal films.
Under Siege.
Anything else?
Daisy,
the producer's a fan. She's nodding.
I think if you like Seagal, though, you don't you're not looking for the prongs on the graph. You're just looking for that. You know what you're getting, and it's action, adventure, and
Oh,
martial
absolutely. I just can't name any of them.
No, we can't name them, but I bet there are a lot. If you're a Seagal fan, there'll be. You still want more, I would
Don't
guess.
text in loads of films.
There is a weird moment in the interview where he's criticising the American footballers that have taken a knee, when
Yes.
they kneel down.
Yeah.
And he says it's an insult to the flag. And he says, I myself have risked my life many times for the American
Yeah,
flag.
well, I wondered about. Does he mean in films?
No, I'm not sure he knows he's in films.
Oh
He
no!
might think he's living through these moments.
Oh, he's a dangerous fantasist, like Walter Mitty.
Well, I wondered
It's a
about that.
shame,
I thought, was
Frank.
he in the military, Seagal?
No,
Well,
he
he-
thinks he's really doing it.
Here's an actual fact about Steven Seagal. He does hold a sheriff's license in the States.
Oh,
And-
okay.
What was that? That was
There
like
was
when
a
Elvis...
documentary on him where he went around being a sheriff.
Yeah,
No.
but can you, if you're a Russian citizen, can you still hold a sheriff's?
I don't
No,
think he
Al,
can
that's
do
a
both.
bit like when Elvis had that FBI badge, isn't it? Under
Well,
the cape.
Elvis had a special drugs agent thing.
Slightly
he's al-
ironic.
But he was also sheriff in a few places. That's why there's a famous picture. Well, it's not famous. It's my favourite picture of Elvis. And it's him in a leather jacket and shades on at a car crash in the middle of the night. He's got shades and a leather jacket, and he's turned up. He's picked it up on his radio, and he's picked it up to investigate the situation.
Now, to make the story even more perfect, you're using the footballers' tents when discussing
Yes.
it.
I know, but the idea of you've been in a car crash and you look up and you say to the bloke who's cutting you out with oxyacetylene equipment, "Is that Elvis?" that doesn't get any better than that.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've been talking about Steven Seagal this morning.
I'm still a little worried because people mocked his jacket, and I have a very similar jacket.
With the mandarin collar.
I've got a Nehru corduroy
Oh,
thing.
nice.
It is nice, but
Well-
now I'm worried that I'm in too many bits of the same bit of the Venn diagram as
You
Steven
are.
Seagal. Aging martial artist chic, I call it.
But you don't have the collar size.
No, it's
No.
not as big as
So I
that.
think you'll be all right.
Or the neck size.
And you don't have a backdrop of St. Petersburg permanently behind you on a green screen.
Actually, I do when I'm not here. That's
He was
the
so
thing
in
you should
Santa
know about me.
Monica, wasn't he? He wasn't in Russia.
No, I can sympathise with that weird Russian yearning.
You
Well,
love
I was
it.
going to say, I think he might be a nice friend for you two.
Mm.
The love of Russia and the love of the...
I would bond with him over the
Kung
martial
Fu.
arts.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine me and him when we talk about our song? Hey, Stephen, you look beautiful tonight. Is that a hat or is that a medieval skull cap or is it your hair?
Apparently, he's a musician as well. He's got a lot of guitars.
Oh,
I might mention Isis. Marry him, why don't you?
I discovered that this thing I've got for the old Soviet days.
Yeah.
It's I've discovered there is a term for it they use in Berlin. It's called ostalgia.
Oh,
Is that right?
Because Ost being German for East.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
come
all
on,
the-
that's fantastic.
Yeah, other people get it as well. It's like
It's quite a good pun.
it is.
Ostalgia.
Yeah, fair. I think they'd probably say Ostalgie in German, but I've
that spoils it.
bowdlerised it.
It'd
but
be a
Ostalgia.
rare person to pick you up on that.
Well, you know what our readers are like. But it'd be a
We've got a
good
few corrections to come.
Yeah.
be a good texting. I think missing things that you miss that you shouldn't miss. Do you know what I mean? Because
Oh,
we
yeah.
shouldn't really miss Soviet Russia because obviously there's a lot of terribleness come out of it. But it was so cool.
Okay, keep it light.
Oh, missile on a lorry, I know, I know.
Don't worry, that's still alive and well in North Korea.
Oh, thank goodness
That's
for
a-
North Korea.
That's a good one ever
Phrases you
happened
never
to.
hear.
Missile on a lorry.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
But do you know things you miss? Like, I miss missing things, for
Oh, right.
example.
Yeah, yeah.
Because in the age of Sky Plus and YouTube, you don't miss anything.
Yeah.
I used to go to school if I missed, say if I missed Doctor Who, and the kids would tell me blow
Yeah.
by blow what had happened. That was lovely oral tradition.
It's like that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Seagull alert.
I was. What else do I miss? I tell you what, I also miss long conversations based on ignorance.
What do you mean?
When, like you'd be telling someone about what some actor had done or something.
Oh,
like the Seagal thing. Now we'd have talked about him being in the army. You'd have had a vague memory of he was actually in Vietnam or something. Whereas now you just Google it.
Yeah.
Kills it. But then you could branch out.
Yeah.
Well,
Use fact as a springboard, but you're not restrained by it.
the certainty kills off the creativity somewhat. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
I'd like.
So what do you miss that you shouldn't miss? Also, of course, the magical world of drunkenness. But I
Yeah.
really miss.
Bullying.
Wolf whistling.
But I went to a fabulous exhibition at the...
I've just said wolf whistling.
Yes. The British Library.
Oh, yeah.
It was called Revolution, and it was all about the Russian Revolution. And I might be the only person who went there directly from Sunday brunch.
The TV show.
Yeah. So I did Sunday brunch and then got a car to the Revolution exhibition. And I was.
I
in the
love it
car.
when you told the researcher that you would need. Where are you getting your car to then? Most people going off to some private members club, not Frank.
No. So it was out of the frying pan into the 8, 12, 15. Complete that pond. What would it be if you were going from Sunday brunch to an exhibition at the British Library about the Russian Revolution, out of the frying pan into the...
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, tricky. Kind of tricky, ain't it? Yes, kind of tough, ain't it, Sheriff? Sorry about that. I don't know why I did that.
Okay.
So anyway, I have some sympathy with Seagal's Russian move.
Yeah.
Okay, we've established it.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text our little show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via the Absolute Radio website.
Hi there.
Hey.
We've been talking about Steven Seagal this morning, but attention must be paid to another Steven. In other hot Steven news,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg this
yes.
week. Did either of you see this? He has admitted he doesn't watch his own movies. He can, in a rather brilliant way, he confessed it. He
I
said,
bet Seagal would never admit. Surely he doesn't watch anything else.
"Can you imagine going round to his house for dinner? We're
Yeah.
just going to watch some of Red Dragon 4.
Did we establish from any of our readers whether he has risked his life for the American flag?
Someone said Navy SEALs, Al.
I still think that's a film. But then
Film
again,
or reality?
No, I think in a film we accepted it in a film.
I think Steven Seagal might think he was a Navy SEAL, but it was just a 6-month project
he
that he was involved in.
I thought he was a seal by the size of it. A walrus, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, Steven Spielberg.
he loves seals. He'll take his applause where he can get it.
Steven Spielberg has said that he doesn't watch his own movies. He what is it? He doesn't
He
dwell.
said it in a great way, Al. He went, "I don't dwell."
I love that.
Oh, that's good.
Come on. That's cool.
That is
Forward focus.
interesting for a man who's... Because Spielberg, I believe, is German.
Spielberg.
Why are you saying it like that? But you're making him sound like a sort of nutty professor.
Oh,
Steven Spielberg.
I'm doing a slight Steven Seagal here. Steven Spielberg
Make
is...
him sound like a psychiatrist in a Disney
No,
film.
I'm making a German point because Spielberg
It's not like-
means Playtown.
Does it?
Yeah.
it?
So he should... Why hasn't he opened the theme park?
Well, that's a good point.
He's done all right for himself.
I know,
Jurassic.
but you'd want to go to Spielberg, wouldn't you, to play?
Frank, if you meet him, you can't call him Spielberg.
But he can.
I've sort of met him.
Shut up.
He was in Madame Tussauds. I was there the other week. Madame Tussauds called that, of course, because of her distinctive fencing style. I think it should be Tussaud, but on this show now, I feel I have to say Tussauds.
Oh, considering you say Spielberg.
But I think that the Spielberg dummy, do you call them dummies at
Waxworks?
Seems a bit the Waxworks.
Yeah.
I think it might be the best in the whole place. It's
Really?
so realistic. He's not that current now, but still in there. And I think he's been left because it's such a good one. I mean,
Really?
If you had your photo with the waxwork of Steven Spielberg in Madame Tussauds, I think you could say to people, this is when I met Steven Spielberg, and they wouldn't question it for a second.
Frank, with those pronunciations, tiptoe through the tulips. I mean, I loved it.
Very
And
good.
the other thing, can I say?
You can.
I reckon if you took the glasses and cap off it, it wouldn't be a bad Hugh Hefner. So just
Okay.
like for this week, they could do the
Right,
topical.
yeah. Give it a
Okay.
shave.
Yeah. These we
I
have
to tell you,
loved.
on the subject of the demise of Hugh Hefner, who I have to say, I know he had his faults, but me and Kat loved the TV show with the three girls. Loved it.
He loved a dressing
Based
gown.
on your adoration for Soviet Russia, I don't think things having faults is something that puts you off adoring them.
No, I think warts and all, that's what I like.
We've already covered Idi Amin and Russia.
I never said I liked Idi Amin.
Robert Mugabe.
No, I remember me and a mate in Birmingham having a long conversation with whether his mother called him Idwood. And disapproved of that. We used to do a joke. Do you ever used to do that joke when you was at school? You say, how does Idi Amin spell his... I'll do it with you, right?
Okay.
How does Idi Amin spell his first name?
IDE.
E.
No.
No, IDI.
Heidi Ho! You needed Heidi High to be on the show.
Yeah.
On,
You needed
on
a lot
telly.
happening at the
you
time.
needed Idi Amin in the news.
And also
Heidi.
a stooge to be able to spell the name properly.
Yeah,
would
the fact
help.
that you guys couldn't spell the Idi did
Kids,
spoil
don't
it.
try that in 2017.
It's been a long time.
Speaking of the death of Hef,
Yes.
Oh, great.
Which we are now, apparently.
I walked past. When I walked in when I'm on my way to the opera the other night. I walked past Stringfellows, which
It's
obviously
this anecdote from 1962.
no, but Stringfellows wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Hefner. Let's face it. I mean, he was the centre of all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it was very moving. All of the customers were at half mast.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
There is one Steven Spielberg film that he does watch that he
1941.
what?
No, that's what I thought he probably doesn't watch.
Yeah.
He watches E.T. with grandchildren and talks them through it.
He
gives
says,
them little
he
advice
tells
during
them
it.
he doesn't really die.
Oh. He should work at Luton Airport. Spielberg on the security, spoiling all the excitement.
I mean, I did think that. When he said, he tells them it's okay, he doesn't really die. And then he says, it's only scary for a little while, and then you grow to love him. Which is what people have said about working with me. But the thing is, it is ruining the movie for these children.
If I want the director's commentary, I'll click on it. I don't want it coming from Grandpa.
If you were Steven Spielberg's grandchild, you would probably do that and point the remote at him.
See, I only ever watch it with the waxwork. That's the
Right,
secret.
that's a good rule.
Do you think that, though, with these films? Like, you know, would you say to your children, oh, it's okay?
I wouldn't say oh.
Oh, come on. Would you say, it's okay, he doesn't die? Or, do you know what I mean? In a film.
So if I was watching Mummy on the Orient Express with Boz,
Right.
I wouldn't say to him, oh, don't worry, the doctor sorts it. The doctor doesn't get killed by the mummy. I mean,
It's all gone with Steven Seagal watching his own stuff all the time, making everyone watch it.
He could probably guess that. Yeah, but I don't actually think that I was the chief engineer on the Orient Express in space. I'm not claiming that. I'd love to get to, but it was lax of Piers Morgan not to say. How do you mean
Yeah, yes.
that you've died for the flag?
Risked your
Yeah.
life many times.
You know, it's the my wife knows where I work approach. So hold on. Oh, whoa. What do you mean you've risked your life for the flag many times?
Well, you would have said that, wouldn't you?
I must say we've had various examples of airport security being humorless and a few saying, hey, It's not that
Well-
bad. 539 said, I work in airport security. I can say we do have a sense of humour. We
Yes.
just get sick of hearing the same jokes over and over.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
Right,
it's
it's a
not
good
funny,
job he
is
doesn't
it?
work in Gdansk. Yeah, well, I don't think it was the joke thing. I mean, it was just...
No.
Okay.
it's gonna be
Calm
like
down,
that.
everyone.
Okay.
Hey, listen to this, 894. You'll love this, Frank. Frank is absolutely right
Forget it. I don't need the rest.
in
Go on.
his pronunciation this morning. I did a German degree.
Thank you.
Oh, come
Thank
on.
you.
Yep.
Dankeschön. Das ist sehr gut. Ach du lieber Gott, mein Bein ist gebrochen.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a bit sore, but I'm soldiering on.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We've had a couple of emails during the week, Frank, offering you what I like to call the correzione.
Oh, I wonder what that was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm afraid when you were speaking about how you went on a little camping trip last week,
Oh, yes.
you repeatedly called guide ropes.
Well, I
Oh.
think guy ropes is a bit sexist.
I wonder what this was a reference
No,
to.
I didn't know they were. Is that what they call guy ropes?
I think they're called guy ropes, as emailed by about 4,000 people.
See, that means it means
Yeah.
something completely different in the S&M community.
Well, Adam in Mallorca has said, Hi Frank, the correct term for this piece of rope is guy rope. It is derived from a nautical term, also known as a guide wire, guy cable, guy strand and guy anchors. People also mistakenly call it guide wire. The name guy wire is derived from the term guy, defined as rope, cord or cable used to steady, guide or secure something. Guy wire is a tensioned cable that is both lightweight and strong.
Okay.
I feel like we've really cleared that up.
In that
That's
case, it sounds like I'm on the nautical step.
very good.
Lovely.
Very good. I mean, from disaster comes triumph.
Exactly, rising from the ashes.
Very good.
I love a tension cable.
I mean,
That's what Vince should have called his son.
there was a tension cable in the
Yeah.
air when Frank was being corrected, and then he managed to.
He always pulls
So
it back out.
guy. How do you spell it? G-U-Y?
GUI, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think that
How
it's...
else?
I'll, in my mind, it'll be a tribute to the Roman Catholic dissident Guy Fawkes.
If you want.
Strange shout
I
out
mean-
on commercial radio.
I mean, you'll be going from being wrong to being
doesn't-
wrong in a different way, but fine.
Do you know Guy Fawkes? No, but thanks. Oh. Anyway, so
Oh my goodness.
no, he's a king gardener. Have you heard anything else from the outside world, or is it?
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what those people all deserve. Though. Correzione, ole, ole, ole. So respect.
I mean, I personally received a correzione direct to me when I said last week that I thought the phrase "back to square one" was about football reporting, and apparently it's board games.
See, I did.
Oh,
I did.
like in a sort of Ludo Kennedy way.
Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snakes and ladders. Snake and ladders, I call
Snakes
it.
and Ladders is actually part of the Gary Barlow family crest.
Is it?
Yeah, based on his up-down career.
We've also had a text from,
Extraordinary material.
a text from Andy Lloyd. Earlier on, we were discussing Esperanto. Yeah,
That's
you
right.
heard.
Yeah.
Of course
Yeah,
we were.
she was great on That's Life.
News about Esperanto. The Esperanto Association of Britain, brackets, no mention of the word great.
I can imagine
Okay.
that room, Al. I bet there's a lot of smoking
Well-
and a really big old telephone.
The Esperanto Association of Britain is based near Stoke-on-Trent.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That probably explains a lot. Cheers, says Andy Lloyd.
And they say, can someone... What should we have for lunch? Should we have some glasses of milk with ice in it and some white bread?
Ooh,
I'm just saying they're a bit old school.
No, but I want to bring it back. When I was in Poland, it did make me think, wouldn't it be brilliant if we had Esperanto at our fingertips, all of us? We could just properly chat.
Be great, wouldn't it?
Don't know why they knocked it on the head.
Frank,
Don't think we
320.
have.
320 says, airport security asked me if I packed my own bags. I said, don't be silly, I'm married.
Wait.
I was marched through the airport with my
Oh.
wife and 2 kids to be searched.
Searched.
So there you go. Don't make those silly jokes.
I think that serves him right for having the learned helplessness of not being able to pack his own bags.
Yeah, but I like his retro sort of married man joke.
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan into the firing squad is a suggestion.
I think that's good for the Russian. That was my trip from Sunday brunch to a Russian Revolution exhibition. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan into the firing squad. Excellent work.
They continue with a little bit of political correctness worrying, but I don't think you need to. I think it's perfectly
Russian
fine.
Revolution. I mean,
fine.
we're not saying it generally about the Russians. We're saying about that period.
The very idea.
I mean, even if we were, would it be that bad?
Well, is any of it that bad? 8, 12, 15. Oh, no! Don't!
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
There are a few dramas on the trains this week. I mean, that sounds quite boring as a topic for discussion. However, bear with me, because this passenger, I believe he was an antiques dealer, 49, not bad looking actually. Anyway, we'll come back to that. He put his feet on the seat in front of him. Naked feet.
His feet or
Unshod.
a pair of elephant's feet, umbrella stands. He was taking to a fair in Newmarket.
That would be
still
his
get those? I'd
spirited
like one of
defence.
those.
They're weird elephant's feet because they don't have, they just go straight down.
No ankle.
It's not a
No.
problem for us though, because we don't encounter them that often.
I know, but
Oh, I see what you mean. There's no.
there's no curve
Yeah.
really. They just go down straight. I mean, what they're thinking of.
I mean, I don't have an umbrella.
Well, I
Don't you?
worry that's what Steven Seagal's feet are like
Well,
these days, Frank.
I
think-
started when I started my own business in the 70s, and it was
Of course you did.
elephant ankle bracelets. It was a
Right.
complete flop. Couldn't keep them on. They just found them all over the. Anyway,
Well, you say that this character, what part of his excuse, because he got in terrible hot water for this, and he said, I have very...
By the look of his feet, he could do with getting into hot water.
Yeah.
Shrek's grandfather. He said, I have very swollen feet and a swollen stomach. So I
Did
have...
he?
Yes.
What?
He said, so I have to put my feet up on the seat in front.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, as I think Meatloaf said.
So what happened is there was another fellow commuter who got very upset.
Well, he took his shoes and socks off
Yeah.
and put them on the feet. I mean, you
Yeah.
could on the seat.
On the seat, yeah.
You could say at least he didn't put his shoes on the seat, I suppose.
Although some say it's worse. This other commuter was really upset. And yeah, he sort of laid into him and took a photo and all this kind of stuff. And apparently it's emerged that there's a law from 1889 that forbids you putting your feet on the seat in front of you.
I mean, that's a good thing.
I mean,
Really?
laws from 1889. This is going to play really well on Absolute 80s when it goes out in an hour's time.
I liked his defence, the man with the Shrek's grandfather, swollen feet. He said, I'm an antique dealer. He said, I mean, I've appeared on Dickinson's Real Deal.
Oh, okay.
As part of his defence that he was a regular, law-abiding human being.
I
Yeah.
also read that he said, I can do what I want.
Yeah, now that's it.
And I thought, yeah, but make what you want something better rather than just taking your shoes and socks off and putting them up on a train seat.
No, but that was the moment for me. I could forgive him putting his bare feet on the seat, but whenever anyone says I can do what I want,
Yeah.
I just think that's when you wish you'd got the 3-drug cocktail.
Wow,
When you
that
wish you were actually
escalated.
up. Yeah. And
Pardon?
I like the man that objected, who said he thought what we should say happened is what the commuter did is he took his shoe and threw it onto the platform as
Brilliant.
revenge.
I mean, that is great.
And when he was talking to the press about it, he said, "Excuse my swearing, but I'm retired. I get a free pass."
Excellent.
Oh,
And you've got
okay.
that pass as well, haven't you?
I suppose I have, yeah. But
You
I
got
couldn't.
it.
I wouldn't have showed it. No platforming.
Would you have
Right.
thrown? Would you have
Why not?
thrown the shoe onto the platform?
No.
Why?
Well, I'd have already applied the lethal injection, so it wouldn't be a problem anymore. He'd be in the bin. No, I just don't, I can't cope with people saying I can do what I like. I just think if we all said that, there'd be no civilization. You can see why the big collared people moved to the east to get away from all that. That'd be a good text. Who's going to move to Russia next? 8, 12, 15. Who's going to be the next one for the citizenship?
Harry Hill. Big
No,
collar.
it's got to be someone.
He's got the collar out.
It's got to be someone. Yeah, Churchill from the insurance ads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yet. Da. Oh, da. I'll tell you what, who could you see? You got a picture of a bar in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
And there's at a table, there's Spielberg and a Depardieu. Sitting at, who is in the third
Seagal and
sorry,
Depardieu.
who did I say?
Don't drag Spielberg
Oh,
into
sorry,
it.
no.
He's busy running his fun park.
He's kept his side of the street clean.
That's another town in Russia.
Yeah. So we got Depardieu.
Depardieu.
We got Seagal.
A Seagal sitting at a table in
Who's
St.
number 3?
Who's
8, 12, 15.
Robbie Savage.
No, he doesn't fit.
No,
that.
he's too thin.
He needs to look
Too
like.
thin.
He's
Diego,
gotta look like
Diego
a-
Maradona.
Oh, there
Yes,
you go.
But in a shell
on.
suit.
Come on.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So we were talking about Steven Seagal. And about people that we thought might look like potential, I'm going to call them reverse defectors.
The next celebrity to take Russian citizenship.
Frank had Diego Maradona, which I like because people always use the first name with Maradona as well. He's very much, you'd never say Maradona. And Daisy, the producer, came up with a good one, Frank.
Oh, that was brilliant. Daisy said Mickey Rourke.
Come on.
Oh man, he's got 1 foot in the Kremlin.
Yeah.
That would be
And
a
the
great
other
sitcom.
and one hand in the creme brulee. I wouldn't be quite looking for.
I've got an unlikely British one. What about Razor Ruddock?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
3 in both of them. Oh man, sorry in both of them as he been out there.
Sorry in both. He certainly commanded the cricket pitch, didn't he? 910's texted in suggesting Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk from the 70s TV series.
Where is he still working for Reno? Oh, I've done a Piers Morgan. Oh yeah, I got a film coming out called Corrosion, which we made in Singapore. It's one of the best films I've ever done.
Do you think in every film he still has to wear the frayed jeans?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
I hope not. It's undignified if he's playing a lawyer or something.
I don't think he's not green anymore. For
No.
For Greeno, that's what he changed his name to by default, in case people forgot.
The thing that was always
he's probably
talked
doing a lot
about,
of sweet corn work.
the thing that was always talked about was how long he spent in makeup. Like it was 7 hours to
they
paint him
love
green.
those
Well, of
things.
course there was. He was a big unit.
Hours spent in makeup is a stat, isn't it? You know, he
Yeah.
spends 7 hours a day
I
in
know they
makeup.
used to do that. Or Dustin Hoffman in...
Yeah.
What was he called when he plays a very old Native American?
Dustin Hoffman?
Oh, well, anyway, they always said
He was not done.
25 hours a day in the makeup chair. It was all that
Oh,
sort of
okay.
I went to the Arsenal on
Lovely.
on Monday.
For the West Brom game?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go there as a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as an
Calm down, dear.
Just as a sightseer.
I tell you, I was in the hospitality section, which was
Of course you were.
very nice.
Oh, I've been there. It's quite something, isn't it?
Buffet.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I did the classic buffet. I had chicken and lamb.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, chirp and turf. Do they chirp?
You on the Atkins? Very paleo.
Oh, we had other stuff as well.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, when you think, you never did that at home. You'll have a bit of beef and some salmon.
No.
You mix everything.
Yeah, they hadn't got any haggis. It's a letdown.
No. It's a shame, isn't it?
But get this, I was not only in the hospitality section, so I was having a meal before the game.
Lovely.
But the tickets had been given to me by my financial advisor.
Excellent.
I mean,
Well, he's got a lot to make up for over the years. Let's be honest.
I used to live in a council house, and now, yeah, exactly. There is a new one.
I think
It's
you'll call this atonement, this period.
I got rid of that one.
Oh, good.
He went with a lot of my money. No, yeah. So he was lovely, though. Lovely. it was.
Nice.
But it's not very. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn. Let's face it.
No.
Yeah.
It's more, oh, Jeremy Irons. I didn't have my bracelet outside my black polo neck, but Irons couldn't go. He's to Russia.
No, he's too slim.
Too slender.
He's too slender.
So you'd have to go to Japan.
I'll tell you what, give him a few years. Timothy Spall.
Someone has
He's got it in him, Spall.
Someone has suggested Sean Penn, which I think is a good shout.
Oh, yeah, that is a good shout. So anyway, I'll tell you what they've got in the hospitality.
Yeah.
They've got a Arsene Wenger beaded curtain.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
So a metallic beaded curtain, the light which separates the takeaway, the Chinese takeaway from
Like
the
open
living
all
quarters.
hours,
One of
yeah.
those, yeah. But with Arsene Wenger's picture on it.
A likeness of Wenger.
And I thought, the Wenger out campaign, you could have had a Wenger out and a Wenger in on the thing. But it was a lovely, lovely night, I must say. We was robbed.
You
but
were.
There you go. Anyway.
Was that in between the ground on the way to the car?
No.
Dodgy pen.
Oh, was it?
Well, yes, we said he might
Yeah.
go. So anyway, I once met a waitress in... Oh, never mind.
Okay.
I'll tell you after. And thank you so much for listening today. It's been a joy as ever. And could you bring on the feathers?
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.